So the racist statues have been taken down. Surely New Orleans is a utopian garden of acceptance and harmony, where everybody sings Kumbaya and there's no crime or nothing. I think it's time I revisited this topic. If you hadn't seen them, hey, you probably hadn't seen them. I made 2 videos on this before. One was about the original Take 'em Down protests, and I made another one with a little bit of history behind the statues, kind of why I didn't think they should be taken down. The links are below and probably on the screen too. I'll give a quick rundown regardless. Basically, some people decided out of the blue that a few statues that have been in New Orleans for forever, for years, had to come down. The Robert E. Lee statue in Lee Circle, the General Beauregard statue, the Battle of Liberty Place monument, and the Jefferson Davis statue. You know, I could see them wanting to take down the Liberty Place monument. You know, if you know the history behind it, I can kind of see that. Even Lee and Davis, I could kind of get that, okay? But Beauregard, what that man did for the city after the Civil War, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into any of the history, any of that. I want to talk about the money. I don't know if y'all know this, but New Orleans, a city that's been run by Democrats since 1872, I'm just saying, has some money issues. What do I mean by money issues? Well, I mean like not being able to hire cops or trash service or fix potholes and stuff like that. So maybe you see where I'm going with this. How much did taking down 4 statues cost the city? Well, we don't know because they didn't tell us yet. You know, it's taking them a while to get that exact price because you got to make sure you pay this one, you pay his brother, you pay his cousin. You know, typical Louisiana politic kind of stuff. But we do have some estimates. Here's an article from the Times-Picayune. So far, there have only been $2 amounts associated with the monument removal. The $170,000 cost the city estimated for the project, and the $600,000 bid turned in by the only company that responded to the city's request for the proposals. Landrieu has said that private funding would be used for the removal, but when the city had to step up security, the cost of removal escalated. Oh yeah, private funding. You mean money is privately taken from the taxpayers to pay for this? I'm familiar with that one, Mitch. You're trying to be sneaky there. But they said the costs escalated because of the security. You know, because they didn't take that into account, that this would be something that would cause people to get a little upset. How much did that increase? The first 3 removals cost an estimated $60,000 in overtime for police alone, Deputy Mayor Ryan Burney said. So a little bit. No, that's just the tip. That's just for the overtime. That ain't... Oh, but the removal of such hateful so-called statues is priceless. Yeah, okay. You tell me that come Mardi Gras or any of them other events that y'all like to have when you don't have any NOPD or any state police either, because the state's budget is running on fumes too. Not like the city's economy isn't based on tourism and people aren't going to want to come to your city if they're going to get mugged or killed or something like that. It's not like New Orleans doesn't have a crime problem. Not like New Orleans doesn't have an education problem. Not like those 2 things aren't linked and cost the city a hell of a lot of money every year. I want to tell y'all a story. Y'all like stories? I like stories. It's the story of the greatest mayor ever. He got elected in 2010. He decided to put a hiring freeze on the city's police for 2 years because of the budgetary constraints. A police force that was already in desperate need of more officers. Time passes. It's 2017 now. I'm sure everything worked out. I'm sure any of the problems in his city could be blamed on racist statues. From the Times-Picayune, the Metropolitan Crime Commission report traces New Orleans' current crime predicament back to the desk of Mayor Mitch Landrieu, first elected in February 2010. Landrieu's 2-year police hiring freeze, along with timid recruitment efforts in the 2 years that followed, allowed the department's manpower to wither by 25%, from 1,546 officers in 2009 to 1,165 at the end of 2016. Currently, the NOPD Training Academy has a 1 class of 9. That's right, 9 whole recruits in a classroom training right now. And there's only about a 500 officer deficit, according to Captain Michael Glazer of the Police Association of New Orleans. Well, I guess it's only going to be a deficit of 491 officers after 2017 if nobody leaves. The recruitment over the last couple years to the NOPD has barely covered the officers that are leaving the force. But don't worry, New Orleans residents and tourists, we won't even need police if we remove all traces of racism from the city. And I'm not talking about we stop at statues. I'm saying we need to go to the street signs. We need to go to the schools. We need to start getting the people out. We need to start rounding them up, putting them in camps, getting the guys in. No, I got a little carried away there. All the tolerance, it was getting to me there. But what did this city have to say in response to the MCC's findings? As the Metropolitan Crime Commission points out, the NOPD is attacking violent crime as a priority. We are proud of this focus rather than regressive practices like stop and frisk that increase arrest while violating the rights of citizens and further driving a wedge between police and community. The Metropolitan Crime Commission fails to tell the full story of anything, including our efforts to bolster manpower and resources to police. Since 2010, police have received a 50% raise. We have had 12 new recruit classes and added 300 recruit graduates. Currently, we have 37 recruits in the academy. Our funding, the NOPD's budget, has increased 7 straight years to help make our neighborhoods safer. In 2010, the NOPD budget was $109 million. Today it stands at $105 million, to include $11 million for overtime to pay for more than 20 new civilian positions. We recognize the work needed to make our communities safer, and we're working every day to make it happen. No one can deny that when looking at the facts. Man, that's right. You can't deny it. You just look at the facts. There's clearly more police now. Crime rates are down and arrest rates are up. Oh shit. It's the opposite. Oh. Now I want to take you back a couple minutes. You remember that $600,000 estimate for the statue removal? Last November, District Attorney Leo Canizaro's budget was cut by City Hall by $600,000. Wow, now that really activates my almonds. I don't know about you guys. The city claims Canizaro accepts too many cases for prosecutions. But MCC Director of Research John Humphreys Jr. said an unbiased examination of data shows Canizaro is not unique and not overzealous in his rate of felony cases accepted for prosecution, though his felony case acceptance rate climbed for 3 straight years during the sample period of 2013 to 2015, from 73% to 81%, it remained under the nearly 86% acceptance rate in neighboring St. Tammany Parish, whose MCC accountability report examining cases from 2013 to 2014 were released last month. So you have a situation where the city under Mayor Mitchler wants more officers, more arrests, but they want fewer prosecutions and they want fewer people in prison. Man, I guess he just wants to start executing criminals before they even tried. That's very progressive. And the city wants to brag about their 44% rate of felony arrests to felony convictions. But they're still 10% behind the national average of 54%. You see, this is my problem with the whole statue debacle. It's a clear political circle jerk. It was done to appease activists, many of which don't even live in Louisiana, nor less New Orleans, at the detriment of the people in New Orleans. It's uncalled for. It's fucking pointless. If people are that upset about statues, maybe they should have took the money and put it into the schools so that they could learn a little better. Well, maybe that wouldn't be such a good idea if you know anything about the schools and what they teach nowadays. Whatever your stance on the monuments are, you can't tell me that Mayor Mitchler had the best interests of the city in mind. You know, I wish the best for New Orleans. I really do. But this is the future you chose. You elected that man. Maybe you think about that the next time elections come around. And if you don't like it, brosse mon cul.